that whole issue of momentum and tractor steering. I wasn't playing. Remember that last year? We had all those issues.
Yeah,
What did you end up doing then? Straight A's and B lines?
I just used row markers. I just trusted myself because I didn't never go.
That is not cool because that Fett thing usually steers pretty awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to log in and check?
Yeah, I'll do that.
But
To see if the mics are working.
This is not cool.
I didn't even. I thought we had that fixed, but what's it doing?
So like,
So we have to hook up and go out and
I don't
play
know if it's
again.
something with Lantern because how did it work? It was working fine, and then
When you were hauling and spreading and everything else, right?
well, I mean, as close as you can tell with that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
remember, it wouldn't-
Nobody would look
when
real
we
close.
first hooked up the tractor, it wouldn't map on the tractor screen when
Yeah.
the planter was in the ground.
Yep.
So then we updated everything and it would. And
Yep.
since that point, I would do coverage guidance around the edge of the field and it could be like a straight, I would have just drove the headland and it's just like a square field and it would wonder, like I'd be 40 inches and then I'd be overlapping the road. It would just wonder.
Even on AB?
Not on AB.
No,
It's fine on
coverage.
AB, but
Coverage guidance, stuff like that.
like on the next pass.
Like when you're actually supposed to be following the line.
Even
like
on
this.
it was okay. ABs were fine. Coverage guidance was not.
And it wasn't like around a
And
turn.
were
but it
contour
was like-
segments the same thing, or
Yeah, same thing.
so anything with a contour line?
Yeah.
That's
It
terrible.
wasn't like he was coming into a turn. Yeah.
And it was doing that, and we would just do a contour line.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
But
not
I could
at all
put out-
normal.
I could put
I
out a
know.
row marker, and I could watch it just
Wonder.
completely wonder.
And we're not talking about the tractor. Yeah, the tractor oversteered to go through your turns. It was the back. It was the actual machine. Like the roads got tight and the roads got narrow. His spray guy can tell you all about it. Are you the spray guy? No. Okay. Yeah. Carter. Yeah. Okay. I can't. Carter.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can remember that. Yeah.
No,
Meet
this
you
isn't
guys.
Carter.
No.
The Carter is
Spray
the
guy's
spray guy.
Carter. And
Yeah, I'm Ty.
Here.
Ty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We met before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember your name, but got to tie that face and the name together. See if I can hold on to that. Yeah. Ty, what's your main job?
A lot of I did the drilling and then a lot of manure hauling and hay and
Yep.
kind of back and forth.
Hey, you're my guy. Just kind of back and forth around general stuff. Tell me about drilling. You had a company approach us out of Europe. Really, really fascinating new drill. And we've been in conversation, not sure something we're going to take on. When you say drilling, what drill are you drilling with?
We have a NC 530.
And that would be what? A John Deere?
TJ, look at that. It's fun.
Yes.
Is yours working, Randall?
My computer's booting up. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with my computer. We're really having a bad morning here. My computer's going through a restart and it's not doing anything.
That's fine. I'll go under the old one.
We're going to the old one. We'll work it out.
That's what we had to. It's so weird. It like works and then. Are we good? Okay. All right. Just a couple seconds here, guys. We'll get this ready.
So guys, we're going to jump through a couple things, but you guys all are been in this a couple times. So yeah, if you got some heavy questions or problems, we were talking about steering issues earlier there, we don't know, we totally have resolved stuff like that. Yeah, anything unique that you're running into in the past year or so, this will be the time to dig into that stuff.
Yeah, I think
Do you use FendtConnect quite a bit on your crew?
Our crew?
Yep.
I don't have it, but Dwayne has it.
All right, I think we're good.
Dwayne,
Yeah.
Dwayne uses it quite a bit.
Keep track of fuel, where everybody's at, and
He's used it.
who's behaving, who's not behaving.
Yeah. Yeah. See if you took the detour or not.
Okay. Well, we might as well get started.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, may as well.
morning, guys. You guys probably know me. My name's Merle Zimmerman. I think I recognize everybody here except you two guys, but you all work for Brewbakers, I'm guessing. So,
Dwayne's little boy.
and Dwayne's boy. All right.
Not so little boy.
And so I work in service, but obviously I answer a lot of phone calls and about this, and so I figured it's always a good refresher for me too. To teach this makes me relearn it again for the spring. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm Randall Wenger. I work in sales and had a couple of Fendt tractors back in the day. And never a FendtONE. I quit before that came around. Quit right as that was coming. So, yeah. So, yeah, I work in sales. I think I know, or I know where you guys belong if I don't know your name. So, anyway, it's good to have you guys here.
And so, yeah, you guys have a 728. Is that the only one with FendtONE? No, you just have a 930.
930.
Yeah, 930.
They
Yep.
get both. Yep.
And you just have a 939 and a 724 and a 933. Yeah, all with FendtONE.
Yep.
Yeah. No, so FendtONE has been a pretty big game changer. If you run one with the old screen now, you're, wondering, those menus seem come after using FendtONE. So, yeah, today's open format. So just yell out I think we're gonna work. I have a couple of things I want to hit, but then, we'll just go wherever you want to go. So first thing we always go over is the work profiles, which you guys are already using. You guys use it too. Is there any questions about that or anything you've seen that isn't working like you think it should? I think one thing we wanted to go over is what all the difference is between work profiles and users. And so to illustrate that, I'll just go in here and show you that. But there is two things that kind of seem like they're the same thing. There's what they call users, which is up here, and then we have work profiles, which is over here, here. And it's kind of, so most of your settings are saved under the work profile. All your valve settings, your cruise controls, your layouts, like how your tiles are set up, which implement is loaded in the auto guide, that's all in work profiles. But under user, that's all your settings like your language, your brightness settings, and all that. So let's just quick go in here and I'll go over the user settings here. So you guys, it seems like you all probably messed a lot with work profiles, probably never messed with this one much. So there's always a customer by the name of or user by the name of admin when you get the tractor. So most of your tractors probably say admin up there all the time. When you click on it, it gives these two options. So this would be user settings for the guy named admin, or you can go under admin settings, which lets you allows you to add new users. So if we hit admin settings here, this shows you all the users that are in this tractor, which are none right now. So let's make a new one here. We're just going to call him Ted. And so here we made a new guy named Ted. And we can change if he's an admin or a user. The only difference is if you make him a user, he can't go in and change the profiles. He can't mess with the profiles. He can't delete Ted. He can't add more Teds.
Just user profiles.
It's just user profiles. He can make work profiles, but he cannot adjust users. If you make him an admin, he can delete other users out of the screen. So most times you probably just want to make them users. So we hit the back arrow. Now Ted's in there. So we hit the back arrow again. Now when you hit this admin, you get a third thing called change users, because now there's 2 users in there. There's the admin user that was in there from factory, and this user named Ted. So if we hit change user, one thing when you do change users, it always saves your work profile. So it always saves the last settings to the work profile. So here
to the user profile.
to the work profile. It always updates your work profile.
Aren't we in the user profiles right
Yeah, we are now, but every time you go to switch it,
Yep.
it updates your work profile, if that makes sense. So if you would have made a valve change, like a flow
not
rate
following you.
change,
Yep.
and then you switch to another user, it's going to quick save that before you get into another user. So anyway, we go in here, we got these 2 guys now. Admin was the first guy.
You said on the work profile, if you switch the users, it'll save that on the work profile.
No, but it changes it saves your settings.
Yeah. That's
So-
interesting. I'm not sure if I knew that.
Because, so let's
That
say you
way-
were, right before
yeah.
you switched users, you had made a change to a flow setting, like a hydraulic setting.
Yeah.
It would have to save that before it brings the new user out.
When it said save, I always thought it was just the user guy.
No, it's the
like his air
profile.
conditioner setting and stuff like that. Okay. So that's the work profile. That's cool.
So we got admin, and here, so here we can pick Ted. And now we loaded Ted, and you can see he's a German. He speaks German.
So if you do have multiple guys running different native tongues, you can set each of you guys up to run your own language.
So, but what I really want to point out is this part here. This would be what we called user settings in English. But all that's being changed in there is these things. And let me change it to English so you guys can read it. The user settings, you can change, under user you can change the language, the windscreen wiper, how that works, your brightnesses, and your beep volumes. That's all that's saved within the user profile. So it really is only made for, right now, it's only made
Unless you have the new seat, and that is
or the
added
new
that
seat.
too, yeah.
Then the settings are saved in the user for the seat.
Yeah, the titanium.
Do you guys have the new leather seat in yours?
Massaging and all.
You don't have the massaging. It's just you guys. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when you're switching users like that, say you have a guy that sits really far back, seat laid back, and another guy that sits way up front, the seat straight up. When you switch between profiles and whatever, when it was saving that, doesn't that save that seat profile? How the guy had it switched and whatever?
That is not, because the seat is saved in the user profile. What it was doing there when we switched users was updating the work profiles. Just making sure it didn't miss anything before it changes the screen.
So how do you update the user
Yeah,
profile?
and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Well, it should change when it should update that automatically when you switch, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
When
now
you
you can see
switch
Ted's
Yeah.
in English.
Ted's in English now.
So
So the question was, we change users, will it save that?
it should
seat
save
setting?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that all?
I think it automatically just happens in the background. Yeah.
So each time you change it, it should
Save
Yeah, wherever your seat is. It'll save the seat. So if you jump in and like, move it where I want it now, and then you go and hit change, your next user, it'll screw the other guy's seat settings up.
Yeah, that's what happens
Yeah.
sometimes with us. You got 3 different guys that jump in it
Yeah.
between, and it's moved around a little bit.
Right. So if you jump in and always select your name right away,
Yeah.
it should just jump right to your stuff then. Yeah.
And one thing to notice here, too, since Ted is just a regular user and he's not an admin, he cannot get down into this bottom menu that would let him create new users.
They don't have that.
He don't have that option. But if you switch back to admin here, when it gets done.
Yep.
So we switch back to admin. So also another thing is whenever you switch users, it asks you to pick a work profile too. Like if your planter profile, your spreader, or whatever work do you want to do. So I'll just hit that. But now if you go under admin here, now you have the options to go to admin settings, because admin by name is an admin, and he can go in here and add and remove TED, make more names and stuff like that. So if you can't add a user, you might be in a user that's not set to an admin, if that makes sense. Kind of complicated, but for you guys with this seat, this is kind of important.
Yeah.
Which that guy, he can go in there and change it to someone else's name. It is now.
Exactly.
Still change
There's
it.
no limit at this point.
Yeah, that's right. He can go in there. It's not password protected.
There's not passwords
Yeah.
in between there.
I
So
guess it sounds like
everything-
they're gonna sometime in the future start making it so you
Locking it
could
down.
make different users have passwords and stuff. But
Or at least you could have if you'd like
Yeah.
it. So like in your farm, if you have a guy back there at Craters where you're like, hey, he should only go 20 instead of the rest of us going 30, then you could lock him down. Hey, supposedly that ability is coming. So, and so
back to work profiles, I wanted to just show something else here yet. So here's where you hit that up there. It shows you all your work profiles. To make a new one, you just have to hit this. I'll just put in drill. Do you guys know what this is? Do you guys play with this ever?
It's
So
the AB.
yeah, the AB version of the profile. So you can have a profile, but you can have two ways of running it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess in the drill there'd be some where you would.
Yeah.
Dip-
Switch remotes or something.
Yeah, I guess if I don't know.
do you guys use AB mode?
I personally wouldn't
No.
use it.
I don't like to set it up that way,
Yeah.
because then it just confuses the next option.
Yeah.
People get so confused.
Yeah.
There's-
Is it A or B?
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
So I would recommend. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. Don't. I mean, if you want to, you can. Then you have like it's two modes under the same name. But why wouldn't you just make a new profile
Yeah.
and name it drill A, drill B? You know. So that's complicated. But all the layouts here, like the layouts of these tiles, is saved to the work profile. And that's something people often ask, like, how can I get my layouts always to be, how I want it for this implement? Because obviously you've got different layouts for different implements. Some you want the map screen here, some you want the hydraulics here, some you want the cruise here. Yeah.
Like when you're karting, you probably don't use GPS at all. So you
Not
really,
usually.
yeah, you really.
Not unless the people try and set it up.
Don't tell me
So.
too much.
Hey, people do it.
Up a long hill.
Well, you guys pretty much understand the work profile, so I'm not going to waste any time
Yeah.
on that. So what we were doing, most of you guys are here for GPS, right? Learning how to use the GPS better. Like
Yeah.
that seems to be the question everybody has. So I think that's where we'll spend most of the time. Unless you just want to, one little thing we did last night, while we're talking about work profiles, we do the hydraulic valves here.
Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of people don't know this, but you can rename valves. And that's,
did that.
yeah, that's really neat. So you can say,
Especially when you have it on a profile.
like you can put it under, like this is fan. So you can say fan, and it's really neat if you save it in the profile, because every time you pull out that work profile, it's going to pull that up. And the neat thing is now it says fan instead of number 1.
Right.
And so now you know. Now you also have to make sure you hook your hoses in right. No way to fix that problem, but
Let's go back into
neat
fan
to
mode.
know.
And let's go ahead and do that. All right. How many of you guys are familiar with hydraulic motor mode on the remotes? You guys played around with
Yeah.
that? So if you go into here,
It's not in this one, but it would be here.
yeah, it'd be another button you hit right there. And basically what it allows you to do is if you toggle the remote on, whether it's plus or minus, the next time you bump it, it just goes into float immediately. So if you have a hydraulic motor spinning and you want to float it to the stop, it'll automatically go to float. You can't accidentally not float it. So it still won't control forward, it won't control plus minus. You have to hit it the right direction, but it'll just go to float whenever you hit it the second time. So
Yeah.
that's hydraulic motor mode. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
cool for.
While we're in here,
Planners.
do you guys know what this is? Anybody?
I do, but these probably don't.
Yeah. So this is the engagement ramp for when you start a valve. That's on a timer. The thing is, it only is active. It don't work on the rocker switches. It's only for constant. Yeah, if in constant flow it works. But also a neat place to use it is if you're using like one of your white buttons as the start a valve. It'll also start slow then, because there it's just like an on-off switch, right?
Yeah.
You can't feather it. So obviously the one that goes straight up is like abrupt, and if it's on a gradual ramp, it's slow engagement. So
Kind of like a soft start.
yeah,
I
it's
think
like
of
a
it
soft
that
start.
way, yeah.
The other thing is, while we're in here, this here is just the layout of your rockers. So from default, it's
The bottom one, right?
it's this one here.
Yeah.
That's this one, the bottom one. Yeah.
No, it'd be
No,
the
it's
top
not.
one, Merle, wouldn't
It'd
it
be
be?
the top one.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Default, it's the top one. Your time, like, push it front once, it'll start your timer. If you go the whole way, it's float. But some people don't like that, because when they pull it back to lift the planer, it puts it in constant the other direction, and that's terrible. But you need constant maybe down for down pressure. So what you can do is have it set up like this, where you go whole way front is timer, but then back is just lift. So you can change how your rocker switches, like what each position is in that screen. So that's really neat.
Now it will return to neutral, always.
Yeah,
but
neutral's always neutral.
If you click the whole way through and the float on the one, or the whole way through the after the detent, there the one will be a timer. That was to accommodate some of our John Deere friends who just couldn't get used to the FendtONE hydraulics. So.
They were like, it should do more like my John Deere did. Yeah.
Okay, any questions on hydraulics yet while we're here?
What's that loader one? I forget.
Oh, that's assigning the crossgate lever. That automatically happens.
That automatically happens.
Is
when
that
you hook your
icon
loader.
actually on the tractor screen?
I never saw that icon.
Did anybody else?
On our tractor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a new one for me. So. I'm
Okay.
not quite sure why that's there.
All right, let's go. So start with the implement setup. That's the most important part of the GPS, because you have to set up the implement width, or it doesn't know how wide to make the passes, right? So very important how you set this up. So the easiest, or one of the ways to get there, hit this top right corner. That's what we call the hamburger, hamburger menu. Tractor functions. Anybody know which one it is? This one right here? Yeah. All right, implement manager. So this is how, this is the implement manager overview. So we can set one for the front and two for the back, 2 implements for the back. If you have a momentum, it automatically populates the, any isobus implement automatically loads the widths in there. Like in this case, you go in there and it's already loaded. Now this thing's all in metric, so it's all messed up. So we're just, yeah, how do you want to do that? Do you want to?
Yeah, we can mess
Make a
around
new-
with this a little bit.
We could just make a new one.
Make
So
a new one if you want to. It's called Implement 1.
What implement should we set up today? Anybody have one that was really challenging, or it was kind of weird and you couldn't figure it out? Yeah.
Plan
That.
for last year, whenever we pulled a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out.
Yep. So if you have an implement that doesn't quite run straight behind you, so let's just say,
I'm just going to enter these numbers as if they were feet. It says meters, but I'm going to enter them as if they're feet. So we're going to have a 40-foot planer.
where does that 20 number in the front come from? Anybody know what that 20 stands for?
To your drawbar. Drawbar to where?
The edge of
The right side of the implement. Yep.
To the edge of it, but it's actually the far right side.
So that's how you get your offsets taken care of. So when your planer pulls about 6 inches to the left, what should I enter in there instead of 20? Should it be 20 foot 6 or 19 feet 6? If it pulls a little to the left, yeah, 19.6. Because if you enter 19.6, the right side is going to get closer to the drawbar, which will shift it to the left. Does that make sense?
So we're just going to go 19.6 and, oh, it's meters. Okay.
Yeah, we should go change that.
19. Yeah, we almost should. Real quick. Actually, can you guys tell me where I go to change my, yeah, I'm going to make you guys work for today. Admin settings.
System.
Under.
System setup, yeah.
Yeah, well, it would. You won't actually be able to change it in admin. I mean, in the user, but you actually, yeah. So here it shows you what you got. You got all metric. If we come down through here, we can start changing our time. Get rid of do my period like I want it. And did I miss any? Yeah, I did. Missed a few there. It's right at the bottom.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Okay.
I think we're good now.
And now you're back.
I like using this little keyboard. Anybody use this little button here? I use that one I don't know. It's one I like.
It takes you
Then
to
it
your.
takes you up to this menu right away. And you just grab an icon. So again, that's this little, looks like a little checkerboard. Brings up all your icons. And you can jump right to the one you want. So now we're way out of whack. So let's start over again. 40 foot. So, and we're gonna make this 19 feet, 6 inches.
Okay. So 19 feet 6. So you see how it shows it to the left?
So see how it shows like the tractor's here, but now the implement moved this way. It's kind of a neat visual. If you're not sure what you're doing, because it is kind of complicated to think about,
Yeah.
that you're changing this number here. So it's a little hard to say that we have to subtract to make it go left, but they also give you a visual to make sure you're thinking the right way. So if he takes it the other way,
And even if you're down to only 11 inches, like 1 inch off,
It'll still show it. It'll only show centered if you're like dead on.
yeah.
to change it to,
So let's go 20 feet 6. So we're to the right.
Same thing.
no, it went the other way.
Bumps
So that's
it
an
over the other
easy way to visualize what's happening.
Yep. So if you shifted it the wrong way, you can kind of see it.
So let's go back to let's play around with like a 15-foot pull type disc bind. This is one I think it's kind of fun. You ever pull one of those Hydra swings?
Or if you have a side mower.
Side mower. Yeah.
this-
Oh,
A side mower. What is that?
13 foot? And you're, I don't know what it is. Is it a 400 something?
Yeah.
Or three? It's a 400 probably. Pottinger 401 or something like that. Is it Pottinger or Claws?
It's Pottinger. The front's 350.
Yeah.
Uh,
352.
352, I think.
352 and not
We'll go with 12 feet. That'll be close.
Yeah, I think it's a 352.
350.
I think you're right. 351. Hey, Carl. Welcome.
So it's 12 feet wide.
Now, what we got to think about is that's 12 foot and it's cutting past the tractor, right? So how wide is your tractor from drawbar to the tire? 5 feet? And you probably don't want to cut, you're probably not cutting closer than a foot to the tire.
Yeah.
So from the tire to the left side of the mower is probably 6 feet from from the drawbar to the left side is 6, plus your 12-foot cutter bar. So you're 18 feet from the drawbar, right, on the right side?
So this number here would actually be 18 feet, 0 inches, because it shoved the whole way over. Now let's put it back about 1 foot because maybe we got 2. That's not quite right on the tires.
Yeah. So
and
just go back to the map
Yep,
screen.
that's what I want to do. I want to make
To
sure
show
it's
'em what
set up
happened.
right. So our cutting is probably about 2 feet behind the hitch, and on a 3-point hitch. And let's go look at this on the map screen now. Here, I just like doing this.
So there. We got it all set up. Does that look great? So it'll actually auto steer based on the area where it's cutting.
Yeah.
So your auto steer line will be right through the middle of your mower. Yeah. Yep. So yeah,
Especially with the front, yeah.
then you throw the front one on, and it'll actually balance the line in between the two. So yeah, yep. It gets kind of fun.
Yeah, it still has the momentum.
That's what this big
That's
box
why it's
is
still
back
got
there.
the momentum on the back.
Showing the momentum in the back.
If you would go.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn ice bus off and we get rid of the planter.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, no, we got.
Oh.
What happened to your drill?
I'm not sure. Is my drill ice the bus too?
No, it wasn't.
Drill went bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There
There
we
it is.
are, back to square one. So yeah, then you throw your front motor on there yet too, set that thing all up. So it gets to be kind of fun.
Yeah, go back to the triggers again.
Talk about that a little bit.
Set up triggers. Do you guys figure out all your mapping triggers on the GPS? You guys kind of get that? So one thing he did here, so he did set up a drill, which is 3-point mounted, but here's where you set it for a drawbar up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get one more measurement that you
Yeah.
have to know.
Do you know what measurement we got that we didn't have before? What's the measurement that was added on one drawbar?
To the wheel,
To the wheels, yep. Why do you need that?
because of the turning.
Turning radius, stuff like that. Yep, so the track's good. One of my best days, I know this doesn't sound good because we haven't been having that good a luck, Hunter, with the planter over there, you guys, but I had a grain drill. It was early on, like the first, second year I was at work here, and we're just playing TerraStar C Pro. It just came out. So it's like plus or minus 1 to 2 inch accuracy. It was a fairly flat field over toward, I was not too far from you guys. I forget exactly where it was. But it's fairly flat field, about 15 acres. There's a big oak tree at the one side we had to go around. Otherwise, fairly square field. Anyway, we got the thing going, second, third, past or so. And coming into the turn, going around and coming back, it wasn't real sharp turns. So it was fairly easy to model and track. But we had pretty much about a 7 or 8 inch spacing the whole way across, even between pass to pass. And that was a lot of fun. Got that drill like set right perfect. So once you get the numbers right, it does track pretty good.
How
So
do you, so for our drill has a dolly in the, it'd be like a John Deere. Or
yep. Mm-hmm.
What's the correct one for the?
Well, that one's tough because it actually pivots at the back axle
Yep.
until you put it into the ground.
Yep.
Then those back tires tend to slide through your turns a little bit, right?
Yep.
Because the drills, you almost should put your
Got to move it front just a little.
your turning point almost should be at the back set of probably disc gangs, or even it's a little hard to tell on something like that.
Cause I know ours like it should be.
How's that?
Around the turns ours ain't like it should be at the old.
It doesn't model very good. What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, this in here, think of it like you have a trailer with a single rear axle. So when you move the tongue to the left, the back goes to the right, right? And you want to be right on that pivot spot. Because that's what the thing's trying to figure out. It's trying to figure out when I turn the drawbar left,
Right. Where does it pivot?
what happens to the back?
So it pretty much should be right where the
Yeah.
gang is.
Yeah, it needs to be right where you think that is. But on a soil engaging implement, it can be a game. But move it around. Don't be scared to change these numbers. Just change them until it seems like it's, yeah.
Doing your thing. A row crop corn planter, usually your wheels are like, the momentum's different, but
Well,
yeah.
because my question with the momentum is whenever it auto-populates from the isobus, it says it's a steering axle. But it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not, yeah.
But I guess it should stay on a steering axle for the modeling.
I don't know. There's a lot of arguments about this.
Because I don't know if that was part
So-
of the problem too or not.
You can play either way. We think that steered axle, even if it's not a steered axle implement, trails better.
Seems to be more accurate.
Tank and whatever.
Yeah. So this is if you would.
No, like a merger, oxbow merger,
Oh,
where your tail actually swings to follow the tractor.
It seems that it models better under steered axle. I don't know. Try it one way or the other.
We're not gonna come out with a second GPS. That would be perfect.
Well, they bought Trimble, right? So
So it's coming.
I think it's only a matter
Yeah,
of
it's just
time
a-
because Trimble had that. So yeah, that you're looking at.
A lot of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you're looking at another like 10 to 15 grand to make that work then because you got software, you got hardware, you got a whole bunch of pieces, or I don't know what it'll be, but there's a good chance that's going to be like, 10 grand or more because.
But it
there's-
does take out a lot of this
Yep.
guessing because
Yep.
you got to remember the only thing the tractor knows is where its receiver is located. The rest is math.
Yeah.
Once that receiver is up in the roof in that little bubble, the rest is all math and models. So it's pretty crazy that it even works as good as it does.
Especially if you get on the steep hill.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it does work better than we had experienced last spring.
And with a John Deere drill like that, if you're loaded, you put a box, so the back tires aren't gonna drag as much, so that's gonna change
Yeah.
And as the drill gets.
Yeah, as it gets emptier, that thing will.
Always changing.
That one's
You're
just
right.
that's a goofy one. Yep.
So I have another question.
Yep.
with The guidance on the plan.
Yep.
So we're getting a rain 360.
Yeah.
And for that, we have to put a globe on the plan.
Yes.
So it knows where the plan went. So can we somehow tie that into, like, instead of being something else, could that tie in and be our guidance for the plan as well?
As far as I know, that's 100% proprietary with them. So all they're doing is recording the position as you go across, and that's probably RTK. You probably have a correction on that, I think. All they're doing is saying, here's where we went across the field. And I don't know that that's necessarily something you can tap into. It would be pretty cool if you could. You already got a high accuracy receiver there and everything. So that's interesting to hear the Yield 360 rain. So I've been hearing more and more guys tapping into that. So you're like the third or fourth guy now in the area. I've been hearing about that. So cool. Just on the home farm there? Or where you all going with that?
We don't really know yet.
Yep. Yep. See where the whole farm's gonna get mapped.
Probably, other than
Yeah.
we'll just run it.
Okay. Yep. You have a separate box in the tractor then for that or something? Or
I guess we will, I don't know. We
Yeah.
haven't installed it
you
yet.
haven't started. Okay. Yep. If I hear that we can ever tap into that, I'll try and make sure I follow up with you guys on that because yeah, all the data's there. It'd be really cool. That'd be a Yield 360 question, which the guy that owns that's the one who started Precision, tends to be pretty innovative. So as a part of me, it would say it's probably just a matter of asking the right people at the right time, and we could probably get it done. So, so I don't know.
All right, so yeah, so got that all set up. Let's just go over these triggers real quick. These are the triggers for mapping, and you guys probably played with these. So most times there's two ways that we mostly turn triggers on. We either do it with a hydraulic valve, so you pick which valve you want. Start mapping on plus, stop on minus usually, or you can have it when you turn it off or whatever. The other one that we often use is this one. That's your PTO. But what happens when you have two triggers selected? What happens? They both have to be on the map. So we get lots of people that call in and say their mapping don't work. We go in here and they have two triggers selected. And so in this case, you'd have to have the PTO running and have the yellow valve on plus. That catches a lot of people. So.
Or if you hook it up one time and you don't have it the same.
Or don't have it on the same remote.
Right.
That's another one that gets you in
The
trouble.
one that'll often get is if you have something weird like that one highlighted.
Which you're not actually using, so then it just won't paint
Yeah.
at all until even if you have the right one on.
Yeah. So this is a place you can actually wire in a switch off your. Let's say you put a switch on your planter, like a whisker switch. That's what that's for. And then this one here is another one. That one starts the mapping whenever you engage the auto steer, which, yeah.
Seen guys use that on a line buggy. Yeah, one of those little line buggies you just shoot across the field, spread a little something. Use an auto steer to keep it nice and accurate, but no other trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
just
running off of anything.
nothing. It's running off a ground drive. And
Yeah.
maybe you have a rope to
Yeah.
Do something, but yeah.
And then if you put it on, it's just going to be on all the time. So, yeah.
You do that
People
plowing.
call in with that problem too a lot. Like, they say everything's grayed out. They think it's some glitch, and then just on. Okay.
do the on one if you're plowing snow. You know where you all went. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions on this type of stuff? You guys feel pretty comfortable?
Get this nailed down.
All right.
Does anyone know what the mins are there? Record mins?
You guys see those on your screens?
I don't think they.
Yeah, that's auto turn. That's what it is. So if you ever get really to the point where you're like, man, I'm ready to sit back and let the tractor do everything for me, except drive to the field and start, you can get auto turn unlocked to your tractor. Anyway, and then so you can set your field all up. You got to have a boundary first. You set your field all up, figures out all your turns, and you start the tractor onto the first path, and it'll go through. And if you have auto teaching as well, you can lift the planer, drop the planer down, and do that whole thing for you. So, so
It works probably best in big fields.
in big fields, it's a lot of time to set up, and
Get set up and get started or done already.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
about the size of it.
In RPA
Yep.
fields.
That's about the size of it.
Midwest.
Yeah, but what these buttons
That's what
are here
yeah.
for is so you have to record a maximum turning, like you have to set
A
how
minimum turn.
minimum turning radius. So basically, you have to set it so that when you make a right turn, that it don't jack. You have to say I have this implement on, which I can only turn this sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So
The one thing I did learn, if you ever would mess with something like that, even on another brand, is think of your minimum turning also like on a hillside. So then it kind of fights you even a little bit more. 'Cause you slip a little, you have a heavy spreader, it pushes you around a little bit as you turn. So you got to watch that stuff then too. So we did have a farmer, he was playing with it a bit, and yeah, it works decent, but it's just a lot to set up, and I don't know, always makes you nervous a little bit on the hills and things.
okay, all right.
Show 'em, or can you show 'em how to make boundary or
Yeah.
boundary?
That's what we'll do here. Yep. So here, next thing we'll do is go to this map screen.
Play around with this thing.
Play with this thing. So this is our GPS map screen. Get that by either going up here, tractor functions here, or you could have it assigned. Have this icon here that minimize all your icons. But how many of you guys know that you can put the GPS on the dashboard? You guys all figured that out? Do you know how to zoom that on the dashboard?
Gotta press that button.
That's right. You have to press this button here and then zoom it. So if you don't have this here, you can slide it and it'll zoom around. If you hit this and now do it,
You
it'll
have to have
You
the-
gotta turn
it'll do on both.
back and
That's
turn
right.
on your other screen, or else it'll do keep doing your little screen.
That's right.
Right, yeah, you turn that off again.
Yeah,
once you get your little
exactly.
screen set where you want it. Yep.
So you got to set them both at the same. So let's say you want maybe the dash out a little bit and this one in a little bit, or vice versa. When you have this selected, it does both. So some guys, we have a lot of people with that question. The other thing is, since November, if you got the latest software update, you get the pinch and to zoom like your smartphone. That's really cool. Also, we have you can pan around now instead
So
of
you
the.
can go out and look
Yeah.
where you at the
That's
other end of
right.
the field.
That's right. You can go see if you did that one corner. Right now, the only way to do, before if you have the old software, the only way to do that was to hit this, but it only worked if you had a boundary.
I don't think they worked on our tractor.
Yeah, has
I
to
don't
be,
think they did.
Has to have a boundary
yeah, now.
around the field to do that.
Yeah, it's only since November that you can pinch and zoom. So if
Are
you're
you saying the pinch zoom doesn't work?
Pinch zoom
Yeah.
thing, I don't think our
Yeah.
tractors have that yet.
yeah. If we weren't there since November, you don't have it.
Yeah.
So,
Next service will get done.
yeah, or whatever, if you really wanted, I guess. Tell Randall to do it on his way home.
You don't live all the way up there.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. So it's actually a little hard. How do you want to?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll let-
Should we try?
Let's
Should we
let's make a
try?
new field. Let's try driving. Last night it was a little buggy.
Everybody know? Okay, then we're gonna start making a new field, make a new boundary. Where do we go to start a new field? Guys, walk me through it.
Second to top one.
There you go, right here. So let's
So-
call it field 2, just for simple.
So this is new. You actually have. Do you run FendtONE?
No.
Okay. So this is one button that they should add to the old screen. This is annoying.
Yeah.
And the old screen, you can't make a field from the map screen. You can make waylines, boundaries, but here you can. And so and then right away it asks you to make a task.
This is only if you want to keep track of data.
Gotta keep task talking.
Yep,
Yeah.
task out. You just hit the red X, keep on going. You're not stopping anything. So our new field name is always up here on FendtONE. On the old screen, you don't really know what field you're in unless you go look. And
You have to go back into the
yep.
varied guide menu, which is
Yep.
terrible. Yeah, here you can just, it's always here. You can hit it and it takes you right to your list. That's really nice.
Yep.
And this is your auto feature. If you have headland, if you have boundaries in all your fields, if they have that highlighted, you pull in, pops field name right up.
select it and go.
But you have that in your old one too. Yeah.
You would have that as well, yep.
So that's one reason you should always make boundaries, because if you have that auto turned on, you drive in the field, it pops up, hey, do you want to use this field? Kind of nice.
So now we'll go ahead and make ourselves a boundary. So the next one down there, which one do you guys use for boundaries?
Which one of the 4?
Recording, worked area, contour segments, or not delete, obviously, but.
Do you guys know which one you prefer doing boundaries with?
And what the field's like, recording or contour segment.
Okay. So I'm going to show you worked area. So this is one I kind of like using. So it'll hook up, it'll use your implement position. And, or it'll use the implement being up or down to pause it and stuff like that. So I like doing the right side of the field. So I'm going to pick the right side of the implement.
Obviously, that's about which
And-
way you go around it.
Yeah, depends which way you go. Then you always have to hit start before you start driving. Now, this thing's a little clunkety, but we'll see if we can make ourselves a field. And it is not drawing a line again. No.
Oh, it detected we're in that field.
No, not field 1, not field 1.
Wait, for some,
Okay.
problem is, I think you need to go, so it doesn't detect that you dropped the planer because we don't have no way to drop it. I think let's try,
Oh, you know what? That's
let's
right.
try making
That's
just a
right.
regular
Let's
recording.
just do a regular recording. Do the right side. There you go.
The
there you
difference
go.
on this one is it records to the right of the tractor, and it's
Yeah.
always recording.
Yeah, I wasn't dropping my implements. So of course
That's
it
right.
wasn't recording.
So
anything.
here you can pause it. The other one don't have a pause option. That's because it's doing it off when you're worked area, whether you're mapping or not.
When
So-
you drop it, it starts your boundary. As soon as you lift it, pauses, you back in the corner, drop, pull out. So you can start your boundary, go the whole way around your field, because every time you lift up, it'll pause. Every time you drop, it'll start again. It might make a few funny corners a few funny lines in the corners, but for the most part, it's pretty cool.
Let's try driving
So
again.
let's try driving again. Can we make a boundary?
This thing is really buggy.
Hey,
Oh,
look
there
at
it's
that.
going.
Look at that. We're getting a line.
No, I want to watch you make the turn though. Actually,
What's that?
I thought that makes it automatically turn, but just to hit that again. Turn the wheel.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that does.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
That's
it's
a-
not doing bad at all.
That's actually a pretty good turn. It's actually pretty hard. This thing is, I wish it was better. I don't know why it's so buggy. We'll just make a, hey.
Oh, we gotta have some fun turns for contour segments. It's that big old sinkhole we gotta go
This
around
is a
now.
real Pennsylvania field.
You gotta put a real tight corner in there too.
You have to stop and back up for one of the corners.
Don't make him stop with that thing.
We're just gonna
Right
keep going.
around the field where you're on the outside.
Yeah, that's right. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna end up being on the.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Merle, I'm gonna soon get you to pause it. So let's stop there. Why don't you get me to pause my line? And we're gonna try some very delicate work here.
We're gonna try to turn around, and so you'll notice it'll draw a white line
As it spins around. Ooh,
Try reversing.
ooh, okay. Well, not quite where I wanted. Yeah. Okay, maybe a little sharper turn.
It'll just make a
myself
straight line to
straight.
wherever we started again. So if you don't get,
Just make a
There you go.
hard corner in.
Yep.
So anyway, if you wanted that line straight, you would actually back your tractor up a little bit more yet, but
We're gonna say, go ahead and continue it, if you would.
so now it'll turn that one red.
So now we're
just-
gonna start recording from there. Does that make sense?
it just draws a straight line between your
Yep.
pauses. So important to know though, because some people get caught on this and they'll forget to turn it back on, then they drive halfway down the next side, and then they're like, oh yeah, quick hit it, and boom.
Makes it-
Yeah.
Takes the corner of the field off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So I'm not sure how much.
Your field's gonna get small because you're recording on the wrong side of your implement.
Right.
Okay.
You're in the
It,
wrong-
it snapped me together there, I believe, or something. What did it do there, bro?
Oh, where'd that come from?
Not sure either. But anyway,
I think that's your starting point.
okay.
Do we?
Uh,
Back to your starting.
All right.
You're on the outside of your.
Yeah, we might have came back to where we started. Yep.
I'm gonna just hit stop. And something don't look right here, but anyway.
Let's see.
See how good of a drawer you
Why does it do that?
I don't actually know what it did at all.
Well, now it don't even show us our field.
Yeah, it already shows our field.
Well,
It like snapped the line. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it did.
I think you went around the field the wrong way.
yeah.
Well, I think my point was right up here, wasn't it?
I think too, because it drew it
Yeah,
up
we were-
across.
we were
For some
coming
reason,
up
it
to
made
it.
this other line over here.
So I went down around it.
But you're on the wrong side.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
I
Put
just
it out on the right side,
You
and now
you
the
should
line
I
is
should
on
have
that
made a
side.
left
On the
turn.
left, you went around the right.
I went on the right.
So that
Yeah.
probably
I
messed
didn't
you all up.
think that would matter, but
it
anyway.
shouldn't matter. It just made this field smaller than it actually. Either way,
Anyways.
I think it's a.
You got the idea. So that's how you make a boundary. You guys know how to do guidance lines, obviously. What's your preferred guidance lines? Or what are your most common ones?
Contour, AB.
A, B, or contour.
Yep. It's kind of what you guys often use. Do you guys actually know what the single contour segment mode would do?
Don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only place you'll use something like that would be like an orchard. So somewhere where you got multiple passes, but you don't want to repeat them. But you want to pull in, you want the guidance line to be there. So like each row of trees might be slightly different. So you go ahead and record a line for each one, but when you pull out of the first one, you turn around, you like your line to be ready for the next row. So you can go through your whole orchard, save them, kind of like you would contour segments out around the edge of a field, but it'd be a guidance line for every row. And that's where you would use that. The only other place would be if for some reason you had a test plot and you wanted to come back through and side dress, and for some reason you didn't plan it, and you're going through for somebody else, you could use like single contour segment mode, and every pass across that field would be its own pass, never be repeated. And so you could, the first time you spray it or go through, you could actually set up all your guidance lines the whole way across that field. Next time you come through, you can save it. There is one called a single contour, and that's even different yet. So single contour is what spray guys use in Europe in wheat. So I enter the field, I always enter the field at this point. That's where you see those pictures. The sprayer guy sprays the whole way around the field, then he sprays this loop pattern back and forth, and you see the aerial shots, the perfect tire tracks. And there's only one set of tire tracks where they spray it like 7 times. So I'll use a single contour. It's one guidance line, but it goes the whole way through the field, and he follows that exact path every single pass it comes through. And that's why they have their tram lines where they actually don't plant any wheat in certain spots in the field, because that's going to be the wheel tracks of the planter, of the sprayer. Does that make sense? You'll probably never use them. That's what they are. So. What's the difference between contour and adaptive contour? Have you guys ever use adaptive contour? Probably the only place to be is like mowing sometimes. Some guys like, you mow around a tree. Your next line, it'll always give you one guidance line right on either side of the pass you just did. So it'll take your last pass and give you a guidance line based off of that. So it's always adjusting it anytime you make a turn. So some guys might use it to, if they're trying to get a field straightened out. A lot of guys are just going to make a new contour line. Yep. And keep on going. So, what are we missing? What should we know?
Do you guys use contour segments? You guys play with contour segments?
They're probably all using coverage guidance.
Yeah. Do you guys use coverage guidance? Like the new way line called coverage guidance. Have you used that one? Have a good luck with it? Well, obviously you had bad luck with the.
Not
I
on the.
also noticed with that one, once you go so far, it just quits making the line. Like if you have a field that only has one corner, so you start in that corner, then you go the whole way around the field, and you come back, your next pass, the line only shows up so far, and then it just disappears. And then you don't have a line.
So you make a continuous round the whole way around the field?
Yeah, until I get back to the corner that I started.
Yeah.
And then it quits making the line so far. And like, if you don't put your road marker down, then you're kind of out of luck.
You're not lifting the planer at all in between there?
Could
We
you-
have one field that's like that, and that happened last year.
Yeah, it would be more thinking that you're going along an edge, stopping, going along the next edge, stopping, coming.
I just figured
Yeah.
since it mapped it, if it was making a line off what was already mapped, why did it matter?
Should just be there.
Right.
So your line quit, like coming around, your line quit. It didn't. It wasn't like it when you came around the turn. It didn't snap a new one in front of you. Next thing, what you could try. So I've had this happen with coverage guidance. I went out across the field, issue with the planer. We lift the planer up. Okay.
Right, and
Then we backed up. Yeah. Yeah. So then we dropped the planer and took off again. Where the computer says you have two guidance lines. You have the first section, and then you have the second section because it was two separate passes, right? You stopped recording and you started again. Well, we're going out across here, and all of a sudden the guidance line, like, it's not following the pass anymore. And it's like when you come to that spot where you did that, you have to disengage auto steer and re-engage so it jumps to the next line. So you've done all these things. Sorry, my voice is starting to give out of me.
Yeah, let's.
That's the same way with the older generation auto steer too.
Yeah.
With like, we run auto steer with our triple mower,
Yep.
reverse station, it's the same way. I'll use that for doing my next pass around, and it's the same way. You have to just re-engage the line
Yep.
coming around.
Yep. With contour segments.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will not automatically jump. You have to disengage and re-engage. That is correct. Yep. Yep.
It's just picking up a new A point.
You got it. Yep. You have to disengage and re-engage. Yep.
All right, so I'm just gonna go pick this field that's in here. So this is a nice field.
Mm-hmm.
A nice square field. Oh, it has a task.
More square than the one I drove.
Yeah, more square than the one you. Oh, great.
Take it away. I'm going to grab me a water.
All right, so let's go zoom out here. That's our field. So how many of you guys, one of my favorite way lines that I learned about from a customer is that I never really used much was this A+ angle. Do you guys use that? So that is a really a neat way to quickly
I'm
make an
mic'd up,
AB
so I'm
line.
not
If you
saying a
just
whole lot.
want to, you know the direction you want to work in this field, just pick this A+ angle and how it works. So now it pops up with your heading. So this is the heading of the tractor, like based on a compass. So 0 degrees would be north. And so if you drive in that direction, you pick the direction you want it. So let's say you're pointing across to whatever marker on the other side of the field, or just this is the way you're going to farm this field. Pick your heading, and then it gives you this. So it says, I'm going to be 236 degrees plus my A. So wherever we drop A. And
Or
just like
wherever
that,
A is from that point, that heading.
from
yeah.
that heading on. And so then, boom, just like that, you made a way line. You didn't even have to drive. So then obviously you got the two options, save and steer. And just like that,
It should show guidance lines.
it should show
Um,
one. Where are you at, Randall?
Auto
You drive
steering
off
is
the
off.
map?
Oh, no. There we go. Auto steering is on now.
That's funny. It didn't, but it should have made lines.
Not sure where our tractor is.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure what happened to you.
Where are we?
Well, it's just showing your field right.
Yeah, but it should
Check
have
out your
it should have
It should
it should have strike lines.
Well, I'll do it wherever we are. Yeah, we're way across the world somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, it
So
did
there,
make
there
lines.
did it. Yeah.
It made lines, but it also should show it from the overview too.
We're outside of the field, though.
It doesn't like where we're at. Oh,
So that made an AB line without driving it.
that's right. So it was
Rather than
A.
driving 30 feet, dropping your B right.
Right. You
away.
could have done the same thing by setting an A, driving 33 feet, getting to B. That's right. You got to just point it, and it'll make it go that way. For mowing and for disking, people like it for that because it's not critical how it
Yeah,
is.
you just strike a line and get going. Then you have straight lines for mowing,
Yeah.
raking and tedding, falling it. Everything's kind of straight, but
Yeah,
it all depends on what you got in the field.
I think for merging.
It
Yeah.
would
Yeah, it should work for merging.
be an option too, but
Use that in mowing. That's why I learned about it. So it was actually a mower. I was with a guy on a triple mower, and he's like, "This is the best line ever. You just angle, boom."
Well, we don't, on the, I guess on the new, is that on the?
Yeah, it's on the old screen too. Yeah, if you have,
Never done it with that.
yeah, it's A+ angle. It's called.
is
People
it?
had it 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's been in the fence
It's been
since the
around a little
beginning.
while,
I
yeah.
used it one year to plant my corn north to south. They
Mhm.
say if you plant north to south, the sun can shine in more, it'll make more starch.
So playing a 180
Yeah.
straight south.
So,
Yeah, you could. Think about that.
Bro,
Yeah.
yeah.
one question, so like on a regular swing mower,
Mm-hmm.
if you're coming, how you have it with the offset on one side, if you have a mower that can switch,
Mm-hmm.
how would you, can you do that or no? No?
Not really. That's I mean, you have to be switching your implements then. Yeah.
Came
Or-
up last night too. Your best option, what the way that guy was working it out? Or were you,
No, go with it. I think you could nudge your line. If you know the exact difference, you could always nudge your line.
Or,
You could just
So you
nudge
can
the
go
line.
into settings, into steering settings. Here, let me back up, just make sure you guys are following me. So this is your map, right? Down here's your settings icon. Go into that. Up at the top, we're in field. Let's go to steering. If you come down here, there's a fancy button that can make your life really miserable if you don't want it turned on. But it's called auto offset on engage. So when you hit auto steer engage, it'll center your line up right where you are every time.
That looks cool.
So if you want it, if you don't want it, it's not cool. Your corn rows go all over the place.
So yeah,
when this is
you see what he's
on-
doing. Whenever you engage auto steer, it
Yeah.
makes the line right where you're at. So
So
it's a
you-
great idea as long as you remember to line yourself up where you want to
So
be.
you swing your mower, you have your rows going the way you want them. You swing your mower around, and then you're like, "Yep, here my mower looks good." I'd hit auto steer, it centers your line right in the tractor and takes you back. So it's a way to jump. How'd you say, cheat the system? But, yeah.
Yeah, the
it
other
also
option-
works good on grain carts if you're actually running on if you planted the field and the combine's in your rows. You pull up beside the combine, you're like, yeah, I'm centered, you just hit auto steer, it'll snap you. If you have that line on there, you just follow those lines. Take you straight down the road. It'll keep you the same spot for the combine. It won't match your speed, but keep you the same spot for the combine.
Yeah, that works good.
It's another way.
we use for the merging, because, so when you're merging down through, you're 24 foot wide, and then you jump 10 foot over, because you have the swath, and then.
Yeah, you're
back,
not, your line.
You're not on your line. So
Yeah.
Nudge it.
you have to nudge your line. and-
The other option you have, if
Can do
you
it.
could just do it with a nudge in here.
Playing with that sun.
You could just put it like because you want to go on the other side of your windrow, right? So 10
like,
foot maybe.
10 foot.
Set this to 10 foot. Set that to 10 foot, and then you have the arrows. But with FendtONE, you can even put the nudge on your white buttons, which is really cool. So you'd set the 10 foot in there, and then you just hit the nudge.
Yeah.
We were using
So.
that button too. So.
It should charge. You might have to pop it up.
Yeah.
Like the one is there. Oh, it's working? Cool. Yep. I think our simulator just crashed. But anyways. I've been a little bit problematic. But anyways.
I don't know why it's so buggy, but
Yeah. I'm giving us a little bit of a headache.
here. I
Um,
can try to read it.
Any other questions, guys, any particulars that you're taking away? We need to get back with you guys on that steering thing. Either that's something, either momentum related that hopefully is taken care of.
I want to say when Jordan was out, he told me there was something that gets unplugged on the planner and should solve it. But
And that never got done, right?
no, that never got done.
See, I was thinking Jordan was the last one that touched that, correct?
Did we ever just make sure it doesn't load it as an isobus implement and just steer it like a regular planter?
Different one, but it still overrides it
It still overrides it, I think.
because you need the isolation.
I know, it's sure,
Because
it's,
remember I had a different profile in it and we just override it every time.
that's sure, that's, that thing there really seemed to take control of that tractor. Yeah. Which is cool when it works. But there seemed to be, and you have a straight 1630, so I wasn't always sure if it was like fighting itself because the center trailing section through the turns, if it's trying to model that, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, I don't know. The split row ones get even a little more complicated because you got a whole bunch of measurements in there, and it changes when you have the splitters up and the splitters down. That gets really complicated. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so here we got it. Now we're back. But yeah, here. Now
So this is something back to your merging application. You could set up a 10-foot offset if you
because it's
wanted
the same
to be,
every time. With the hydro swing, like, I don't know, do they always lock at the same spot? Pretty close?
Yeah, you can lock them full lockout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be the same.
But sometimes you're not doing that, and it can be a little bit. The other thing is,
You'll
if
figure
you
it
guys
out.
play with this line, you know what this button does right here? That's a really neat. So if you don't like where your guidance line's at, and you don't feel like trying to nudge it left or right, you just grab the steering wheel, drive it to where you need to be, and then hit this, and it puts the line right where you're at. So that's
It's the same as turning the
it's
auto
basically
steer.
like turning that other thing on. Another thing that we should point out is if you go in here and do what Randall was saying, hit this here. It's the same except this is linked to whenever you engage the auto steer.
This
that
one always will send her every time. Every time you hit engage.
We actually use the other one.
Use the other one.
Oh,
I
okay.
use the other one.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
one does it whenever you hit
Set on the
auto
like on the
steer.
white button.
Yeah.
You hit the white button and it
That's right.
drops.
What you won't like when you go in and click this button on to always do it every single time. Yeah. And when you don't want it to shift the line, it'll shift it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corn planter guys hate it because it, yeah.
But you can always tell if that button's pushed by it'll put a symbol up there. But you guys aren't doing it. You guys are actually doing it this
We're doing
way.
it through there.
Yeah.
But you're using a white
Yeah.
button to do it, which is really neat that they made that on a white button.
You can
Joystick.
Yeah. So that's really
Yeah,
neat.
you can customize
Yeah,
that
that's a good
joystick.
point. So for you guys, yeah, you can do that. Forget
Are you
about
guys aware that as you jump around with these nudges, it'll show you how far you shifted your line total,
yeah.
In case you ever wondered how far off. And
You
that's,
can always go back and
Yeah.
hit that reset button.
so that is something just, the auto engage, if you set it up on that one like you would with your hydro swing, like if you care, you can see how far you're getting off. But I don't really know if that'd be, I think the total offset's more important to a guy who's trying to run in between his last year's rows. And he wants to know, oh, I was hanging on the hill, so I nudged it a little bit. Now I'm down in the flats, well, I'm almost running back on my rows. Well, I'm at 20 inches offset instead of 15, so I need to bump it back a little bit. That makes sense. Like when you're on the hillside, you might have bumped it up a little bit. So. Other than that, oh, you can reset the line. So if you hit save, it'll actually make this line centered up right where it is now. Oh no, it'll save a new way line. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So if you made those changes and you're like, oh, this is actually way better than my original one, you can hit save and it'll make a new way line.
We'll just nudge it over.
Yeah, it'll nudge it over. Right, but you
Yeah.
can say, you can
But it creates it
actually
as a
save that
second
into a
one.
new way line. So that's new. I don't think you can do that on the old. I'm pretty
Not
sure you
that I
can.
know of.
So that's the new too. So that's kind of neat. That you can nudge it, and then if you really like it, you don't have to always remember every time you come back to nudge it. Yeah.
It's back to metric again, but when it was inches, you could
change that down to 1 inch nudge. Like if you're doing it on a hillside, you're planting corn or something like that. If you just want to nudge an inch at a time, or then if you're in a merge and change it to 10 foot. It's got quite a lot of, yeah.
adjustment there. Whatever your application is. And I'm guessing those nudge numbers would stay in the work profile.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they stay with your
So
work
if you had the
profile.
corn planter set to 1 inch, and you had the merger set to 10 foot, yeah.
I think it always goes back to 10 foot, or it's always a 10 foot when we come back to.
Yep. That's, some of that stuff's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else? One thing, if you want to get to your GPS accuracy settings, just click up here on that satellite, and that'll take you in here. It'll show you which signal you're on. Here's your different signals. SBAS is WAS. That's your free one. And then here's all your options. These are your paid options. So you guys are running TerraStar C, I think. Are you running L?
Hunter, are you running RTK?
Yeah, you are running RTK.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's see.
Um,
Yeah, one thing in here, yeah, then you can see your accuracy and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah, burrs.
here's the tree here. This icon is interesting. You have it on yours too. But all this tree allows you to steer with a bad signal. If you ever look at it, so right now this thing has obviously no signal in the sim. You will not be able to engage auto steer when it's red. The minute you hit this, it turns orange, which lets you steer. So you shouldn't probably have that turned on unless you're steering in a place that has really bad service and you just want to go. You should probably turn this off because you kind of don't want to steer when you have a bad signal.
You could get a feed on.
Yeah, you can. So I often jump in tractors and guys have that turned on. I'm like, I think you kind of want to know when the signal's bad. So I would not have that turned on. Yeah, so sometimes if you're renewing your subscription, we might ask you to get that for us, but
go back up there a little bit, Merle.
yeah.
No, go back to NEMA.
Mm.
So if you're running a 2020 planner monitor, this is where we're getting our GPS out of here. That needs to be, back. Is that where I want to
Yeah,
go?
you're right. It's this one here,
I thought it had to be green.
that one.
Oh no, yeah, that one needs to be green. For some reason, you don't get GPS when you're 2020. Somebody may have turned that one to gray. That's just turning it on and off. It's basically like a little switch in this thing. So
It's basically the switch that turns the
Yep.
GPS out. So in the corner of your Fendt cab, you have that serial plug, looks like an old printer plug. That's your GPS out, and that goes to 2020 or whatever. And so you need to make sure that's turned on.
if you ever want to change settings, it's actually the wrench.
Yeah.
You probably won't ever have to mess with that. It should be set up already, but
That's where you would actually change the settings.
Yeah, sometimes we have to set those up.
Yep,
Do you
the
have a
first time
2020?
user.
You running?
Yep, just got one. So
Yeah, yours will be, well, it'll be in the the same idea though. You have to make
Yep.
sure it's turned on, but it's in Varior Guide main menu. Then you go down, there's a wrench, and then in there it says NEMA, and then at the top there's a toggle. Yeah. Same idea, but it has to be turned on or it won't read. So.
what features are you wishing for yet on tractors? What are things that you wish you had on the screen, didn't have on the screen? Wish it would do that it doesn't do? TJ stepped out, but we can make a list for him. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. We had to get new
Google Maps on the.
Google Maps. I think that's going to
Yeah.
work then once you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So Apple CarPlay is coming,
In June, June we
Yeah.
get CarPlay.
but
For-
how is that going to work? Is that a retrofit or no?
Yeah, that's the thing. So actually, we just got our first tractor in that has the right hardware for Apple CarPlay, and you can tell by that your volume knob has like that guy talking on it, like your cars have. Yeah, Apple made them put that in there, because that's your Siri button. So we just got that. There's a 1050. It just came in that has all the hardware for CarPlay, but the software will not be released till June. So for all you guys with old tractors, though, there's a couple of hardware things that have to change in order for it. They have to change the radio unit in the roof, and you have to change the that little button pad there. So it'll be an upgrade, but it'll probably be, I can't imagine it'll be less than $2,000 just to get CarPlay. But Android Auto is supposedly coming, but yeah, not real soon. So it'll be for Apple only. So.
Apple always is first.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So we shall see. Maybe if Android Auto is one that just a software update where you can just push it right in, that could be kind of cool. I don't know how much they'll make them.
Also in June, they're saying that we're going to be able to wirelessly share guidance lines between terminals and wirelessly share coverage maps like live. I don't know. I hear rumors that it might not happen. So in June, like they said. So I'm getting kind of worried it might not happen, but they're saying June. So, yeah.
See where it all goes.
Any other things you guys want to go over? Any questions? Yeah. Any wish list features?
You guys are kind of some of our pro users, so
Yeah, you guys are.
tell us what we need to do.
You get the sensor for the 728 figured out for the subframe.
All right. Did they? I thought we notched the frame.
We got the frame, but not the sensor mount for the
Oh.
frame. Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, that's not done yet.
Ooh,
Okay.
you're
That's
saying the subframe for the
For the-
3-point.
For the front,
There's
the lift sensor.
So there's a comfort. So you have the comfort front 3-point with the position sensor on it. Yeah. Never.
That's just been disconnected.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Since you put the push frame on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never gave that. Never.
I
gave
knew.
that a thought.
I knew. I thought that. I'll check into that.
We got the frame cut out,
Yeah.
so we can turning radius.
Yeah.
That's
That's done, but we need to reposition the sensor.
Yeah.
That's a good reminder. I needed to check into that. I thought that was taken care of, but yeah.
It's-
Okay. So it gives the code every time,
Every
right?
time you start.
Start it.
This is one time,
Mhm.
right when you start it up.
Yeah.
Once in a while, same tractor gives the fuel code, fuel tank code.
No, for the level sensor.
Sensor too.
Yeah.
It's not every time.
Yeah. That's good. I'll write that down. That's probably the sensor in the tank. Still have problems with them. So. Okay.
He'll edit that part out in the video.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Hey, well, guys, thanks a lot for coming. Appreciate you guys. Some of our pro users standing up here say we should probably be switching seats, but anyway. Yeah, thanks for bringing the feedback. We'll see what we can do to get you guys squared up on different things. But I really want that steering thing to get going because unless some of the other guys weren't paying as close of attention, they were running. The other guys were running.
Everybody
pretty-
else wasn't having issues, so
Mercer
not that
View?
big of issues.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Mercer View's running it,
They were
yeah.
running good. I didn't hear Wally Ekus complain that he's running a different tractor now, but on it. I was trying to think. There's several different guys. Lippy's was running multiple of those now, and they weren't complaining. So, not sure if it's just the software versions or lining up right or what we did there. But anyway, we need to
Okay.
keep digging into that.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well,
Hey,
we're going to transition into Gen 3, so if you guys can and want to do Gen 3 monitor stuff, we're going to go
we'll
hit
stay
that
here.
now.
There's probably more.
Is Dwayne here?
He is coming.
He was coming. Got it.
There's more treats out there for you guys.
Yeah, please help us with donuts, guys. There's a
Yeah.
ton of extra donuts. We're expecting a lot more people this morning. I don't know where everybody is.